Ian Thorpe is number one. A kickstart for Australia. Gold and a world record.
Now it's Donovan Bailey trying to pick up runners. Donovan Bailey is putting on a third. He's got it! 9.84, a world record for Donovan Bailey and a gold medal!
A perfect score. 10.0 for Najee Combination. A perfect score.
The first time I've never seen this.
So in over 100 years, nobody's won as many medals at the Olympic Games in any sport than this great champion, Michael Phelps.
Usain Bolt sprinting ahead, winning by daylight and setting a world record, 9.68. The wind is okay. How easy was that?
Good evening, afternoon, morning and good night. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, from Off the Podium, an Olympics podcast, as we come to you for episode 12, a recap of day 10 of the 2016 Rio Olympics. Just in case you thought maybe we were talking about the 2032 Rio Olympics, because it's been such a success. The green pool makes them want to host it again in 16 years' time. It's exciting, even though it's not actually green anymore, but whatever. But big day, once again, to talk about events and medals that weren't won by either Australia or Canada, because we didn't win either of us today. Now we know what New Zealand feels like. Jared Lubeck is here once again to talk about a medalist day for both countries. Jared, welcome back to Off the Podium.
It's good to be back. A bit of a disappointment, but you get those days, so hopefully, we can grab some more medals in the next week.
Well, I would hope so. Otherwise, we might have to wait 4 years. Because, it's not going to happen at the Winter Olympics. We're not Canada. But yeah, this is strange. Like we had yesterday, we turned around and said, well, Australia didn't win any medals, but at least Canada got a medal. And, it was all about Usain Bolt. And we threw in a bit of Ryan Lochte in there and it was great. And today we really don't have much to talk about because Australia didn't win anything. We had a massive pulling of Campbell today. Like there was so many Campbells all over the place. It was ridiculous. Canada, I don't even want to say Canada pulled a Campbell because this is just a regular day at the Summer Olympics for Canada. They've exceeded expectations so far in these games, so not even going to say anything against them. But 2 days in a row now, Jared, without a medal. It's not like, we've had just 1 day. 2 days. What are we doing with ourselves? Like, does a national inquiry need to start already about how terrible we are at life because we can't even win a bronze?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just choking all the way around, everybody. All the teams are getting knocked out. All the individual athletes are performing terribly. There'll be a big inquiry. I think we probably need to send double the amount of athletes to heighten our chances of winning medals next time.
Exactly. It's just pathetic. I think we even had Michael Phelps come out a day or so ago saying that our Australian swimmers lacked focus and that they choked. And when Phelps says it, that we're screwed, So, it's kind of interesting, actually. But one thing I will say, I really noticed today that I guess our media was a little bit calmer on our athletes today. There wasn't really a whole lot of, the Campbells, the worst thing ever. They should be sent to hell and all this sort of stuff. So, is that a positive? We're slowly learning and not to rip shit into our athletes because we kind of suck at the moment?
Yeah, I think so. I think that just kind of goes hand in hand with the swimming being over. There's less pressure on the rest of the athletes to win gold. Expectations are a little bit lower, so there's probably not going to be that hounding by the media.
I really feel that, now, there's, is anybody being talked up? Because, I remember London, at least it was all Sally Pearson, what's she going to do? And we had the hockey boys still waiting to choke in the medal round rather than the quarterfinals. And, the sailors were doing well. Realistically right now, do we have anyone with any chance of a gold medal right now? I can't think of anyone that can, besides the basketball teams perhaps, but we know they're going to lose to America. So right now, is Australia even going to win another gold medal?
I think it will be tough. I think sailing, maybe you have an opportunity, but I feel like they've all kind of dropped back right when we're getting to sort of the pointy end of things. But sailing, anything could happen. If all the other teams capsize, that's gold medal assured for us, but no doubt we'll be the ones capsizing in that. So, I feel like that's the only place I can see us getting a medal is in the sailing, a gold medal. Maybe we could pick up a silver or a bronze in something else. I think there might still be a bit of cycling to go, and we seem to be good at either finishing fourth or getting the bronze in that. Yeah, but chances are definitely running out, and there's no kind of key athlete being talked up at this point in time.
We're not talking about modern pentathlon, of course. That's only a couple of days away. And, of course, the taekwondo is only a day or so away. I mean, who knows what can happen there? I mean, the rhythmic gymnastics, Danielle, what's her name from the other day? I haven't got a name. Danielle Prince, that's it. See, look at that. It's not a real sport. We've got our BMX riders yet. We're getting them. We've got a couple of world champions there. So, we've got a couple in the canoe sprint, I should say. So, look, and the female golfers, I'm sure there's an Australian in there somewhere. So... I'm glad people are listening to Off the Podium today, because clearly we know a lot about our athletes. Oh, I'm sure there's a female golfer in there somewhere. So, yeah, it's interesting. Even like when I've written my notes up here to go over the results of the day, it's just like depressing reading. I mean, we started off on such a high. Bring back Mac. Bring back Britt Elmsley. The Campbell sisters, when they actually could win stuff at the beginning of the games. Like, this is pathetic. We're turning into New Zealand. Like, this is not good. And Canada also didn't do well today, so we already mentioned that. But this is strange, starting off an episode not talking about any medals won. So let's go over our lovely results from the other sports, at least the ones that I managed to get up and ready to go. So athletics, at least the ones here that I've got. I might be able to pull up a few more here, because by the time I wrote these notes, I hadn't really had a full recap, but I think they might be up right about now. So, yes, in the athletics, Danny Samuels, our discus thrower. Is that the correct terminology? A thrower. She's through to a third consecutive Olympics final. She was 11th in London, 9th in Beijing, and she'll be hoping to possibly go 7th, it seems, here in Rio. She threw a 64.46 metre disc throw. Is that the correct terminology, Jared? I don't know if you know much about discus.
Yeah, it could be I think it is a throw. Shot put's more of a chuck.
Yep.
But discus is probably definitely it could even be a twirl, a discus twirl, or is that hammer throw? I'm not sure.
She threw a disc, people. All right, she threw it over 60 metres. That's more than most of us can do. So, good on you, Danny. Good on you for making the finals. The 400-metre hurdles, Lauren Wells through to the semi-finals. That's great. Good. Good for her. In all seriousness, this actually is a pretty good result. Our favourite non-equestrian event, the 3,000-metre steeplechase, we had two ladies make the final. The first time in the history of the Olympics we had two females in the final, and they both finished in the top 10. Madeline Hills, 7th, if you don't mind, and Genevieve Lacasse, 9th. So, I mean, that's decent. Like, you love the 3,000-metre steeplechase, so I mean, you were happy with that?
Oh, absolutely. It's a great event. Good to see that we're getting some depth in that event now. I think, all the juniors are going to be rushing to join that after seeing that on the TV, and look out at Tokyo 2020, because we're looking to build on those results.
Just stick sport climbing up you wherever, like getting steeplechase is where it's at. Ella Nelson is through to the semis of the 200 metres. Great. That's great for her. That's about all the news I've got here from the athletics. Diving, sadly, Madison Keeney and Essa Khan, 5th and 6th in the 3-metre springboard. Still decent, top 6, more than most people got. This is the sad news of the day, though, Jared. Like, we can bag out every other athlete, but we don't bag out Anna Meares. I mean, again, as we discovered the other day, you pull an Anna. That's what you do when you do something good. And behind Usain Bolt, she's the greatest living human being ever to grace the earth. But she sadly got eliminated in the sprint, her event that she was defending. And again, we talked about this the other day. I don't get the rules of cycling. Like, what happens to straight knockouts? But instead you had, like, she got eliminated, was in a repechage, got back into it, was in, like, the quarterfinals and got eliminated, then was in another repechage, and then she got eliminated from that, and then she had to ride off for, like, 10th. Like, poor Anna. She's a gold medalist. Respect her. Why do they need, like, 38 races to decide if she's going to be in the quarterfinals or not?
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it that way, you may as well just put in, she's an Olympic champion from London. Why is she not straight into the gold medal match? I mean, that seems just as fair as having all these kind of backward rounds and second chances. And, it's ridiculous. Obviously, trying to get the money's worth out of the velodrome, but I don't know if that's the way that you should go about it.
Exactly. And we still love you, Anna, because you're Anna Meares. Also in the cycling, Glenn O'Shea crashed out of the Omnium. Shame on you, Glenn. And in the women's Omnium, our bronze medalist from that event 4 years ago, Annette Edmondson, she's currently 7th at the halfway point. So building for a good, strong 6th position, I'm going to call it there, for Threnette, good job. Sailing, well, it was cancelled. We were meant to win a medal in that today because that one that we mentioned the other day that's guaranteed a medal, we just don't know what colour. It was too bad out there. They couldn't sail. So how does that work? I mean, it's going on for like 18 years. I'll add another 18 years to it. I mean, what cancels sailing? Don't they need wind and rough conditions? I don't know.
You would think so. Yeah, I would have just put it on regardless. I mean, isn't that part of the test? If you can sail with or without wind, in any condition possible, I mean, maybe we'd see more people capsize, and that would make sailing interesting for once.
Yeah, exactly.
Potentially they were concerned that the swimmers would be run over by the sailing boats. I don't know if that was held in the same area, but I mean, that could have been a disaster.
Oh, we're going to talk about marathon swimming, because you think sailing's boring. We'll get to that. Speaking of which, we may as well touch on just our results. We had Chelsea Gabecca was 15th in marathon swimming. Good on you, Chelsea. You're going to go far. Well, you did. You swam a marathon. Water polo. It's not a good day for our teams at all in the Olympics. Not a good Olympics for our teams. Our water polo girls, the Stingers, I think I've discovered they're called. We haven't really mentioned that much. One of the favourites heading in, and they lost to the Hungarians, who were not happy with it because they don't smile. 8-all, that was at the end of the regulation time. They lost in a shootout. Once, just like the Matildas, robbed. Jared, I was up at about 5 o'clock in the morning watching this. Just pure robbed. Yeah,
I mean, penalty shootouts are obviously not our thing. Luckily, we don't have those in basketball if it comes down to a deadlock, because, I mean, that'd be shocking. Yeah, I think maybe the reason behind this was the team name, the Stingers. That's not an animal. I mean, you have a stingray, or are they meant to be a stinging jellyfish? There's a lot of confusion there. I'm sure they're not really sure what they're meant to be doing. You could have called them the stingrays or just the jellyfish. I mean, the jellyfish is a great name for a water polo team, and I don't know why we don't use that.
Aren't stingers those things that you go swimming up at the reef, and then you get like you've got to wear the special suits because they will like kill you or something like that if you don't wear the suits? I mean, that's what I think they are, right?
Well, I don't know. You could be right. I think it's a made-up name for an animal. Maybe. Potentially it's a nickname,
yes,
which Aussies like to use. But I mean, if you're confusing them with a nickname, use the full name. Yep. I'm not happy. I think that's a team name that could change.
It's actually quite funny because, you know, like we were talking about our team names and that, like you had the water boatmen for the rowers. Maybe we had the water float women for I mean, is that better than the Stingers? I don't know. That's actually terrible, Ben. Team not good. This is embarrassing. Our hockey is over. The first time since 1984 we will not come home with a medal in the sport of field hockey. And the Hockeyroos, not only did they lose 4-2, they lost to New Zealand, Jared. This is not good enough. Like you talk about our athletes not coming back home with the gold. They just can never come home. They're exiled. Like, bugger off to New Zealand, Hockeyroos. That's just pathetic.
Exactly. At least the men lost to the Netherlands, so they could kind of save some face there. But losing to New Zealand in the field hockey, in a sport that we're meant to be good at, I mean, this is a national disaster. There should be a day of mourning for this. Add this team to the list of athletes not coming home till Tokyo 2020.
I'm going to go one further, Jared. I'm going to say ban female hockey in this country until it's rectified, because you do not lose to New Zealand and not get punished. That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Absolute pathetic Hockeyroos. Now, the canoe sprint. Isn't this exciting? Colin and I talked this up yesterday. You can either sit down or kneel. It's up to you whether you want to be in the K or the C. What sport do you decide? Oh, Mum, Dad, I'm going to take up canoe/kayak. Which one is it, son? Oh, I don't know. I might kneel tomorrow and I might sit the next day. Murray Stewart. Oh, the great Murray Stewart. He's into the final of the K1 1,000 metres. And in the women's C1 1,000... the women's K2 500 metres, Elisa Bull and Alec Burnett through to the final of that one, where sadly Martin Marinov couldn't make it to the A final, and he's in your favourite, the B final.
Well, I mean, that's where you want to be. If you can't be in the A final, go to the B final.
Exactly.
I mean, at least he's not in the C final. Granted, that doesn't exist, but at least he's not there. The canoe sprint, what a great sport. It's the most mesmerising thing I've seen on TV. We've had some comments from ex-prime ministers about how wind farms are ugly, so I don't think Tony Abbott would be a fan of the canoe sprint because it's very similar.
Yes. Oh, it's interesting, like, these sports. Like, this is what's great about the Olympics. I mean, this is what's great about the Winter Olympics even more so, because at least, you know, we're used to water and that, but, like, 2 years' time when we're talking about curling. That's the whole different kettle of fish. But yeah, like, at what point do these people come up with these sports? Like, I get kind of the slalom, because, you can't have rowing slalom. Like, that doesn't work. Canoe slalom, like, it's like whitewater rapids. That's fine. But, like, at what point do they say, like, oh, we're jealous of the rowers going really fast in a straight line, so let's canoe really fast? Like, I don't know. It kind of seems like a wasted sport to me.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. What's next? The raft sprint. That's potentially more interesting if the athletes have to make their own raft before they sprint off into the distance. But you could add any kind of. I don't even know. Any kind of boat could be in a sprint. The jet ski sprint. Why is that not in there? And canoe sprint is. It seems like, just like you said, they got jealous of the rowers. They were sick of being judged on hitting gates, and I think it's just the failed people from the whitewater rafting. They just couldn't handle it, and they've gone into this instead.
Well, I say go one better again, like Tokyo. Like, you've got your road cycling, your track cycling. Why don't we just have like a cycling sprint in a straight line? Like, I know you've got the sprint, like hello Anna-Mears, but like just a straight line. You just pedal the shit out of it and go for gold. And then you have the equestrian sprint, like the gallop. Like, put Berto on a horse and just get him to gallop in a straight line for like a kilometre. Like, that's entertaining.
Yeah, I think just a 100-metre sprint and everything. We talked the other day about the 100-metre walk, which I'd love to see. Just anything where you can go fast. Exactly. It just makes sense that these sports should be in there over potentially the canoe sprint, but they're not. So hopefully we continue to add sports. Flin Flan's got a couple of windows open for some of these sports to join the elite echelons of canoe sprinting.
I honestly think we need to start having this Flin Flon game start next week. We're going to have so many events, it's going to take like 12 years to fill the bloody thing up. So, well, why not? Everyone loves the Olympics. Speaking of everyone loving the Olympics, everyone loves the Olympics because of wrestling. That started. Oh, don't we love wrestling? And sadly for Australia, we're already out of it. Ivan Popov, we talked a bit about him yesterday. He got his butt whooped to him, and not in the form that you would think in wrestling. 9-0 to Johan Uren of Sweden. We're talking about wrestling today because, oh my goodness, how is this a sport? But poor Ivan. We sent him a fan message yesterday, and sadly it didn't work out for Ivan. We'll talk about this, I think, very soon, but did you see any of the wrestling at all?
I did see a little bit, potentially a Russian taking on a Georgian in the wrestling. It was hard to tell. The commentators were confused about who was who and was saying the coaches were wrong. The main thing I took away is when you want to challenge, you throw in the mascot from the Olympics into the ring to signify that you want to challenge something. Then the mascot gets passed to the judges. They review the challenge and they chuck the mascot back to the coach. This is the most inefficient system of challenging possible. Give the coach like a yellow card to hold up or something. It's just more of the little statuettes. They've over-ordered on everything for the gift shops in Rio, and they've got to use it somehow, and it's the green games, and it's reduce, reuse, recycle. But far out. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
It's just Thomas Bach's presidency again. It's just like, yes, throw in the mascot. The kiddies will love it. Like, the kids aren't watching wrestling, Thomas, because they're not allowed to. All you need to do is put a bit of chicka wow wow in and it's porn. Like, it's like the parents don't let the kids watch wrestling, all right? So, I didn't actually see that bit with the mascot, but I think I need to find out. I need to look at it.
I watched it and I was terribly confused. I'm like, is this the coach throwing in the towel? Is this him saying, no, this wrestling's over, my charge can't handle this wrestling? That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm glad it's a thing, but far out, it's weird.
I'm glad they didn't, they might have had it in Sydney, I don't know, but you'd have to throw in, Sid, Millie and Ollie. There was 3 mascots in Sydney. Did Sid mean something different to Millie and Ollie? The kookaburra is different to the platypus. Oh no, that's an even extra bigger challenge. Not the platypus. So, I can't even remember which one was which. Sid, Millie and Ollie. Sid was the platypus, I think. Ollie was the echidna and Millie was the kookaburra? Or was it the other way around? No,
Millie is the echidna.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Ollie's the kookaburra.
Yep, okay. I was close. It's been 16 years, people, all right? So, yes, the wrestling. We'll get a bit more to that. Canada, I didn't really pay too much attention to Canada, sorry, Colin, but I can tell you that the reigning world champion in the pole vault is Canadian. Shaughnessy Barber, that is an awesome name. He choked. He pulled a Campbell. He was 10th in the final. So, Shaughnessy, you let the Maple Leaf down. But the good news for Canada, at least, I found one good news story. Collins talked up their volleyball team. They caused an upset. They knocked off the Italians and are through to the quarterfinals. So, go you, Canadian volleyball. Did you watch the Canadian volleyball team beat the Italians? Because it was all over our TV here.
I did not see it, but I mean, this is how you win a team sport. I would have rather watched that. I think at one point in time we had the dressage on, the open water swimming, and something was potentially replays on the other channel. So there wasn't anything interesting to watch. So I would have rather watched the volleyball. But yeah, good work. Australian teams, take note of how to win against another team and move forward in the knockout stages.
And not get eliminated in a penalty shootout, yes. So that was Canada. Colin's probably listening to this. You didn't mention this! Well, that happened. Go Canada. But, I mean, despite the fact that neither Canada or Australia won a medal, as I said before, the good news is New Zealand didn't win a medal on day 10, so that's fine. That's all right. We're happy with that, at least. Other sort of news, the main ones to go over. Shanae Miller, I don't know if you saw the 400 metres at all, the female 400 metres, with Shanae. She literally, she pulled an Italian soccer player. She dived on the line. It looked like she fell over. But, she won the gold. She's from the Bahamas. She's up against the great Allyson Felix from the US. And as she's approaching the line, she sort of slows, she stumbles, and she, almost face plants across the line. So, a bit of controversy. People are saying, did she do it deliberately? Is this in the spirit of athletics? Is there such thing as spirit of athletics? You need to finish first. So, surely you can jump, hop, skip across the line, whatever you want to do.
Oh, exactly. Obviously, I mean, it was in the rules. If it wasn't, it would have been contested. Because athletes love to contest things and make a big deal and a big fuss. So, I mean, yeah, good on her. If it was deliberate, fine. I mean, she won. Aussies, again, take note. If we need to dive to win these things, if we need to, in the penalty shootouts, put people off somehow or come off our goal line, I mean, it's all within the spirit of the Olympics and the spirits of the games.
Exactly, Jared. Good idea, good talking. The big one here, though, that I think, which is kind of almost the story of the day, is the fact that Brazil finally won another gold medal, and it was a great event too. I caught the end of this. Thiago Braz da Silva, luckily he didn't live up to his name and got the gold. He set an Olympic record in the men's pole vault. Took gold for Brazil. I always knew those Brazilians could jump high above things. So great to see. They're only their second gold medal of the Games. They actually had a fairly good day, the Brazilians. They got a silver in the men's rings in gymnastics. I didn't know Brazil was good at gymnastics. Arthur Zanetti got a silver in that. And they also got a bronze in the women's 10K marathon, which we'll talk about because that was a very close finish. Poliana Okamoto took the bronze there for Brazil. So 3 medals on a decent day for the hosts. They've got all their beach volleyball players to win all the gold medals yet. So, we're a bit happier now for Brazil today. We kind of on the Brazil bandwagon today with none of our countries winning medals.
Oh, exactly. If you can't win, go for the host nation, unless the host nation is New Zealand, and then go for their nearest neighbour, the Cook Islands, or something like that instead.
Or France, of course. If Paris win 2024, we can't go for the French. Hello to all our French listeners. Oh, should I say bonjour? So actually, hang on. One more I was going to pay a note here. Simone Biles, we've talked her a little bit up. She was on a quest for 5 gold in the gymnastics. She's the superstar of the sport. Americans love her. She's their darling. She only got bronze in the women's balance beam, so she's not going to win 5 gold. Sorry, folks. But she might win 4. Which I guess is decent. Still more than New Zealand. Alright, so the other medal results for the day, athletics-wise, so in the 800 metres, David Rudisha from Kenya took the gold there. Never in doubt, we always knew David was going to do that. 400 metres, as we said, Shanae Miller, pole vault, yes, we covered that. The 3,000 metre steeplechase, we're talking about the Aussies. You talk about great nations of athletics. Jared. What comes to your mind when you think of Bahrain? They obviously are very good at jumping over stuff into water, aren't they?
Yeah, well, when I think of Bahrain, I think of a country that takes their athletes from another country to ensure that they win gold medals, and I think, well done, good on you. Why is Australia not following suit?
Ruth Jabet won that. Bahrain has a Grand Prix. Before they had a Grand Prix, I don't think I knew much about Bahrain, so good on you for poaching Ruth. Where's Ruth from? Let's actually look.
I believe they mentioned she was a Kenyan. I think
Yes.
this is... it came up in the marathon that apparently this is commonplace for other countries to kind of poach the Kenyans, because I mean, when when you're competing against other Kenyans to get into your national team, clearly you're going to go to another country that's nearby to make sure you get selected and get to go to the Olympics.
We really shouldn't joke about this because, like, you've got to remember one of our greatest Winter Olympians is a Canadian, Dale Begg Smith, who basically came to Australia because Canada wouldn't have him because he wasn't allowed to continue his internet spam business. He's like a millionaire who makes money off sending spam to people's email addresses, and the Canadian Olympic team were like, no, you can't do that if you want to be on our team. So he was like, well, fuck you, I'm going to a country that will let me do it. Australia's like, oh, a Canadian wants to represent us, here's a gold medal. And he did. He won a gold in the moguls in Torino and then a silver it was in Vancouver. So I think one of only 3 or 4 Australians to win multiple Winter Olympic medals. So we're the Bahrain of the Winter Olympics. You're welcome, Australia. And thank you, Canada, for that. Medals, yes, that's what we're talking about, aren't we? Not Dale Begg Smith, we're in the wrong Olympics. The women's hammer throw, one of your favourite events, Jared. World record here for Poland's Anita Wadalczyk. Anita, you took a close note of the hammer throw, no doubt.
Oh yes, I saw this world record. And my favourite moment was how the commentators was saying hopefully she doesn't celebrate too hard, because the last time she set a world record, apparently in her celebrations she tripped over and broke her foot. So none of that happening this time, which was good to see. Clearly hammer throw athletes do not make the best dancers, and they should keep their celebrations fairly reserved.
Boxing, the men's heavyweight. I don't know if you got any commentary from this one about the big pants or whatever it was from the other one the other day. Russian Evgeny Tishenko took the gold ahead of the great Kazakhstani boxer of Vasily Levitt. Cycling, the men's omnium that we mentioned before, Alia Viviani of Italy took the gold ahead of the great Mark Cavendish from Britain. Suck it, Britain, you didn't get a gold in that one. But you did in the individual dressage, your former favourite sport. Charlotte Dujardin from Great Britain took the gold there. Gymnastics, as I mentioned, that was Simone Biles didn't win the gold, bronze, but Saan Wevers of Netherlands. I had no idea the Dutch were good at gymnastics. I'm learning a lot about countries that are good at gymnastics. I didn't know the Dutch were good at jumping on thin things, but apparently they are. She took the gold there. In the men's rings, it was gold to Greece. Eleftherios Petronius took the gold there. Good for him. And I actually saw the end of this one because I want to mention, I think he's almost going to be my athlete of the day. The men's vault from North Korea, Ri Si-gwang. Superb effort from Ri, never in doubt. But his celebrations on the podium, I'll save it. I'll put him up for athlete of the day, and I'll save it. I'll keep you in suspense so you keep listening to the episode and don't tune out right now, because we all know everyone only listens for the athlete of the day. What else have we got going on? Sailing, yes, postponed, no medals there. Swimming, it was a good day for the Dutch. They won another gold in the marathon. Sharon van Ruvendaal, thank you, gold there for the Dutch. Weightlifting, the men's 105 kilograms. Ruslan Nuridonov of Uzbekistan in an Olympic record took the gold. And in the wrestling, yeah, it's still a sport. Men's Greco-Roman, David Chagvedzadsky of Russia took the 85 kilogram category of the Greco-Roman, while in the 130 kilogram Greco-Roman, Mian Lopez of Cuba took the gold there. So there you go. That's what happened with the medals today. The medal tally after day 10. Australia still in 9th, 6 gold, 7 silver, 9 bronze. Hasn't been updated for 2 days, so not good enough. The top 5 sees the US still on top, 26 gold, 23 silver, 26 bronze. The Brits are still in second. They're loving this, the Brits. 16 gold, 17 silver, 8 bronze. Ahead of China, if you don't mind. What's going on with China, Jared? This is an inquiry, isn't it? They've only won 15 gold.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to be hugely disappointed. I mean, heads could roll. It's a possibility. But, yeah, we talk about us having an inquiry. China will be having an inquiry if they don't pick things up soon.
Oh, exactly. Bloody oath. Speaking of picking things up, the Russians, their drugs have finally picked up because they're up to fourth now. 11 gold for them, 12 silver, 12 bronze, 35 in total. And the Italians are in fifth, 8 gold, 9 silver, 6 bronze. Australia ninth, as I said. Canada have dropped down to 19th. Brazil have overtaken them. North Korea have overtaken them. And New Zealand are still ahead of them. Canada, 2 gold, 2 silver, 9 bronze. They're in the top 20, Jared. That's something.
Yeah, I mean, Canada's trying to hold on to the top 20. We're trying to hold on to the top 10. So, I mean, we're both suffering at the moment, and hopefully we can spur each other on.
Brazil, 2 gold, 3 silver, 4 bronze. They're in 16th place, the host nation. I don't really have a whole lot of other news to go by. There were the... I was only going to save this for the news.com. It's not really news.com.au because this actually was a story doing the rounds, not just on news.com.au. I don't know if you heard about the Brazilian diving pair that have split up. You did? Yes. Giovanni Pedroso and her partner Ingrid Oliveira have broken up because Ingrid decided to partake in a all-night session in the bedroom with another athlete, Pedro Goncalves, and she got locked out of her room. So her teammate's gone, well, stuff you. You're going to get laid all night. I'm going to leave. So this is fascinating. Is this what happened to the Campbell sisters, do you think, Jared? Like, one of them got locked out because, I don't know, somebody went and hooked up with the Campbell sisters? I don't know. I don't want to put any names out there because that's a bit mean, but I mean, this is interesting. This is fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? This is probably the story of the game so far, I would say. It's good to finally get some hard-hitting journalism talking about the important issues. And I mean, yeah, this breaks partnerships. But to be fair, I mean, were they really going places anywhere in the diving? They'll pursue their individual careers, and who knows what's next for the Brazilian team.
Exactly. Come on, Brazil. All right, so we're talking about what did we watch? Well, we talked a little bit. I think you've already talked about everything that you watched today, Jared. Do you have anything else to add from what you've already said?
No, I don't think there was anything else. It was a very kind of boring, like I said before. The open water swimming on one channel, the equestrian on the other. And highlights on the third channel. So typical Channel 7 showing the exciting moments of the Olympic Games.
You wait until I get what they were showing at 3 o'clock in the morning because it gets even worse than what you're thinking. I watched marathon swimming. I watched a bit of the water polo, athletics, wrestling, dressage. Now, the marathon swimming, like, I like swimming. Swimming's exciting. Not when you shove, 50 people in water that's probably going to give them a disease and the camera angles are so, terrible that you don't know what you're watching. I mean, everyone knows when you watch a triathlon, the least exciting bit's the swim, and that's only over in, a kilometre, isn't it? This is, 10 kilometres of seeing tiny little dots thrashing around in the water. These people could be getting attacked by sharks. You don't even know. And then you got, 50 vessels around them. You got people swimming around in a canoe. Here's a perfect opportunity, Jared, to combine two sports into one. You've got people in canoes around the swimmers. 2 medals right there. You've got a canoe in the water. Is he just a failed Olympian, protecting the swimmers from the Zika virus? I don't know. And then I love the end of the race where they've literally got to swim up to a white wall and jump up and press it. Can't they just cross a finish line?
Yeah, that'd make a lot more sense. I think the thing missing in this, which funnily enough was present in the sailing, was where was the little graphics of who everybody was with the flags everywhere, and open water swimming. I mean, it shouldn't be a one-way course. It should be like the sailing. We have people going off in all different directions. I don't even think there should be a finishing point. I think it's just the first person to swim 10 kilometres in whatever direction you want to swim.
Have a little GPS system on there. Jared swam 10 kilometres first. Just do circles.
Yeah, and also it's a little bit like harking back to Where's Richie, because you'd change the channel and you'd switch back and you'd be like, where's Chelsea? And they wouldn't mention her forever, and I didn't know what group she was in, if she was in the leading group or the chase group. I don't know. The big talking point was that her cap could potentially be falling off, and I wasn't interested about that. I wanted to know where she was in the field.
I loved at one point they cut to the beach and saw like the Australian male swimmer swimming in the pool. Like, they were so bored, the TV crews, they were like, well, let's watch a man swim in the water. Like, it was sexist at the same time. Like, you know, it wasn't good. But did you see right at the end when the ones that basically had to fight out for the silver medalists, he had Rachel Bruni of Italy and Polana Okamoto from Brazil. They basically jumped on top of each other and touched the wall at the same time. It was hilarious. There's a bit of biff going on at the end of this.
Yeah, I think that's what you want, and it was probably there throughout the whole thing. Every time I watch this and they're swimming so close together, I'm just like, how many times are you being kicked in the head throughout this and losing your goggles? And I mean, that's probably why Chelsea's cap was coming off. Somebody was probably pulling it off behind her, a little bit of foul play. Yeah, it's an aggressive sport. It's a dirty sport, but I mean, open water swimming, this is another one of those ones where I question whether we need it or not.
Exactly. Exactly. Just, like, go all out. Like, basically have it. So you have, if you're going to have marathon swimming, make it a true marathon. So, like, they have to start in the host city of that year. They've got 4 years to make it to the next host city. So, like, make them start. They've got to swim from Rio to Tokyo. They've got 4 years to do it. And whoever survives the longest wins the gold.
Yeah. There's so many ways this could be improved. And that is probably the best suggestion that I've heard so far, and I would be voting for that if I was in the IOC.
Come on, Thomas Bach. We know you listen. Like, I know the AOC have banned us, but the IOC haven't, as far as I know. So, yeah, I say let's do that. That's a good way of doing it. But I don't know if you saw right at the end then, when they've all obviously swum and finished, they've got a giant orange inflatable, like, rescue boat that they obviously ferry them back to the shore. Like, I've been watching a lot of Lost lately. This just reminded me of an episode of Lost. I was waiting for the smoke monster to come out.
You think they could just swim in themselves? I mean, they've already swum 10 Ks. What's I mean, an extra kilometre or two to back to the shore?
Yeah, exactly. They don't, like, get a little car to get a Usain Bolt. Like, he's, you know, like, I don't know. Like, it's just, it seems a bit weird that they then go out and help them get out of the water. But okay, good on them. They're nice. Yeah, wrestling... I don't know if I can top your mascot throwing in. There was one of the bouts I was watching, and there's like these two, like, must have been the 130 kilogram, because they were very big men in very tight clothes, and they're kind of like leant over slightly, and they're just kind of like gently rubbing each other's bodies, and like, it's like, do something. Like, it's just almost like they were getting to know each other on a first date. They just met on Tinder. Like, oh, I'll rub your, oh no, rub my oh no, I'm going to rub your neck. Like, I mean, if this was judo, the Uchimata would have kicked in and bang, you're over. But I mean, look, I know this is like ancient and it's back from the ancient Olympics, and when they removed it, there was a huge big deal. Like, you've got to keep wrestling in, but I can't take this sport seriously. Like, I mean, you talk about gymnastics with ribbons. There's something about watching overgrown men in tight clothes gently rubbing each other that really doesn't do much for me.
Wrestling is definitely a bit of a slow burn. Yeah, I for one would be voting to get rid of it. I'm sure given Australia's performance, we were part of the crew trying to get rid of it from the Olympics. And I mean, I hope that movement makes a resurgence. I know that it's traditional and it's got a long an ancient history, but I mean, sometimes you've got to move on. I mean, horrible things in the world had a long and ancient history, and we got rid of them because we saw the light. And I think we just need to see the light when it comes to wrestling, that it's not all that interesting, and it's I don't know, it's confusing and it's weird, and I just don't think it should be around.
They need to, if they're going to bring in something like this, like, obviously you couldn't have like WWE because, sorry people, it's fake. I'm going to get a lot of trolling for that. But bring in UFC. Like, it's that simple. UFC. I mean, I'd watch that easily any day of the week over wrestling.
Exactly.
Done. There you go. Thomas Bach, you're welcome. Yeah, the water polo, again, I just love watching water polo. Again, we were robbed in a shootout, but there was something about that. Anyway, athlete of the day. Do you have anyone at all? I mean, we've got no Aussies or Canadians to talk about.
I do, and I've gone with a Frenchman, which I know will annoy you, but I've gone with the Frenchman for the right reasons. I've gone with the silver medalist from the pole vault, Renaud Lavallenie, who has come out and kicked up a bit of a stink because apparently, according to him, there was no fair play from the public.
Oh, no.
He said of the frequent booing which accompanied his every jump.
Oh.
And he proceeded to say, it is for football, not track and field.
Oh, disgusting.
I mean, I feel really sorry for the guy. I mean, clearly the booing's put him off. It's not like the cheering for the Brazilian was off-putting him at all. I feel like as a Frenchman, you probably just come to expect that, though, walking down the street in everyday life. So I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't got used to it yet. I mean, should we ban booing from the Olympics, or should I? I mean, I'm not voting to ban. I think booing, if anything, should be an Olympic sport. Where's the sledging in the Olympic competition? There needs to be more of it.
Oh, I think Jared Lubix just told the joke of the Olympics right now. Well, I mean, you're right. He's French. He's used to being booed, but how would you boo? Ban booing? How would you boo booing? Like, what do you do with that? You're booing, go away. You're booing, go away. You've already got nobody at your events already. So, you're not going to be there. Like, what do you expect? I mean, the Brazilians are very passionate people, and it's not football. Well, you live in the nation where, football is their obsession. You know, France like your football too. What, you've never been booed at a football match because you're French? I mean, as Jared said, you're French. You get booed a lot. So, suck it up, Renaud. What's his name, Renaud? Yeah,
Renaud. Either way, he doesn't know. The thing is, too, it's fair enough, it's polo and you have to concentrate, but this isn't like archery or shooting. It's not the tennis where they hush them down before each point. I mean, you're against a Brazilian. What do you expect? Obviously, the crowd's going to cheer for him and boo for you. It's just, I don't know. I always have felt that pole vaulters would have a bit of a thicker skin having to jump at these heights and stuff. But I don't know. Renaud. Hopefully, you're prepared for Tokyo 2020 because the same thing will probably happen there.
Well, he's still going to be French in 2020, so I don't know how that works. Oh my goodness! I honestly expected a joke like that to come from Colin or myself. Jared, you starred. You did so well with that. Good job. I wish I had a gold medal. Maybe I'll talk to Thomas. He's got a few spare ones going around, so I'll get one for you. Well, I mean, mine's not even going to come close to topping this. I was originally going to put up the Dutch gymnast in Sane Wevers because, I mean, she knocked off the great Simone Biles and just did amazing. But, yeah, Ri Si Gwang from North Korea, purely for the fact his medal ceremony. Now, I know, the Americans, they put their hand on their heart, oh, say, can you see? They love it. But, when you think North Koreans, you're thinking, they've won a gold. They know they're not going to be shot when they walk off the plane. They've basically secured their life around their neck because they've brought pride to their country. As soon as the national anthem starts playing, you've got this very stern-looking North Korean. He's very serious. National anthem starts playing. He salutes. So he puts his arm up to his head, raises it up, salute. He turns so rigid. It's I'm in the army, he's just so serious as his national anthem being played. And they zoom in on his face. This guy is just wanting to break down. You can see tears in his eyes. He knows his life is secured for another 4 years. His family won't get killed. He'll be invited over for dinner with the great leader and all this sort of stuff. And he's just at the same time I can't cry. I'm North Korean. We're serious. You just knew that this guy is after the event, he's gone into the locker room and just broken down and just been so happy for winning a gold medal. But I just thought it was amazing to see. I've never seen someone at the Olympics stand up so rigid and salute the flag as it's going up. So, good on you, Ri Si Gwang. You legend, you in the men's vault. See, he wouldn't have complained about getting booed because generally people boo North Koreans, they get shot. So,
Did he sing the national anthem, or was he one of these athletes who's forgetting the words?
See, again, if he was Australian, exactly. No, you won a gold, you didn't sing the national anthem. Un-Australian. He didn't sing it. He was too busy focusing on why North Korea is the greatest nation in the world. So,
yeah. I mean, the salute probably makes up for it.
I definitely think it does. Yeah, okay, so moving on. I don't really have a wife of the day. Colin discovered the Swiss gymnast Julia Steingruber yesterday for me, and I've been reading a little bit about her. But actually, I discovered something, Jared. We're going right back to the first episode. Britt Elmsley. Now, we looked her up on Instagram. We discovered she's got, a Derek Zoolander boyfriend, not a chance in hell. But on her Instagram page, it's got, add me on Snapchat. So I added her on Snapchat, like, you know, whatever. And then, like, I don't know if you're familiar with Snapchat, but you have the Snap stories that pop up. So I've got a little notification on my Snapchat, little blue little circle, and it comes up and it's got, like, Snap story from Britt Elmsley. I'm like, oh, Britt snapped me. And it was just, like, literally a picture of, like, her on a team bus with male swimmers, like, me and the boys. And I'm like, okay, Brit. But then I've gone through my Snapchat, I've sent a friend a snap, and it's actually come up like, choose from your friends. And actually she appears in my friends list. So I'm like, I could send Brit Elmsley, like, I could send her one right now of me recording this episode. Like, should we do it? Should we see if we get a reply? She's going to be like, who's this random guy sending me a Snapchat?
Go for it.
All right, hang on. I've got to be serious now. I've got to put serious face. I'm looking quite terrible. This could be... This is the story that we will tell at our wedding. How did you meet? Oh, well, I got this random Snapchat from somebody. All right, so if I hit this button, we absolutely love Britt Elmsley here on Off the Podium podcast. Download via iTunes right now that we snap her. Will she reply? All right. Do you think that will get a reply? So,
I mean, I think chances are slim, but it's the Olympics. Anything could happen.
All right, I've literally ticked her name. I'm like terrified how this is going to turn out. I'm going to I won't screenshot it because then if I put that up on our page, and everybody will be snapping my friends. There we go. I've legitimately just sent Britt Elmsley a Snapchat. So. Yeah, that's not really that funny, but anyway.
She's going to be next on the long list of people who have banned Off the Podium.
Yes. Yeah, she's going to put a snap story. Got a random thing from some guy. Channel 7, shit, news.com.au, shitter. I don't really have anything for news.com.au today, funnily enough. But the Channel 7 ones. Now, I've just gotten a little bit of commentary here from our dear friend Tamsin Lewis, calling the 400 metres hurdles. I think this was a semi-final. The world champion from Kenya, Nicholas Bett. Now, he fell over. I don't know if you saw this, Jared. He tripped over in like the last hurdle or something, and he's out. He's out of the Olympics. The great Kenyan, Nicholas Bett. You wouldn't bet on that one. But as he fell over, Tamsin let out an almighty squeal. She's like, ah! Like, really loud. I think Bruce McElhaney shat himself at that point. And then at the end of the race, she's like, oh, sorry about that squeal, but I could see it happening. Like, Tamsin Lewis can predict the future. Like, we need to talk this up, but I don't know if you've ever, like, we talk about Vicky every single time she's watching the show jumping. She's like, like nervous. Like, we've now got Australian commentators squealing when people are falling over.
Yeah, I mean, she was just in the moment. That's not a category at the Olympics. Renaud wouldn't be happy with squealing. I'm sure that's just as off-putting as booing. But good on. That's what you want from a commentator who can get into the sport. They don't hold back. They just say what's on their mind or whatever noise comes out of their mouth. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all positive there. It's not professional, but it's not horrible.
No, exactly. The other one here I've got was an interview. We love our interviews. The great Anime is the greatest human being ever. The commentator, the person just basically turns around to her and says, so what's next for you, Anna? Like, you know, like after these Olympics, what's next? She's just turned around and just gone, oh, holiday, some chocolate. Like, ever so humble, you know, good on you. Like, I saw the Usain Bolt post-race interview that the Australian guy, like, you know, he came and talked to Australia. Ever humble, Usain Bolt's great. He's not Michael Phelps. He's not rushing them along. But, like, the journalist is like, oh, come on, Usain, you know, you're saying this is your last Olympics, but, you know, is this really? And he's kind of like, oh, no, man, look, right now it is, but I'll talk to the coach, and you never know, but right now I say it is. That was a terrible Jamaican accent. But, like, Anna Mears, chocolate, holiday, you know, good on you, Anna. But the thing I wanted to complain about, you were talking about, like, you know, you have dressage on one channel, marathon swimming on the other, and then highlights on the other. Legitimately true. This is not me trying to shit on Channel 7. At 3 o'clock in the morning, you are watching Channel 7. They've got one of these pre-Olympic documentaries showing on the boomers going to Uluru. Like, fantastic. It was a good documentary. I don't know if you saw it. It was great. So you're like, okay, well, they're having a bit of a break. So let's flick it over to 7-2. They've got the Bruce McElhaney pre-Olympics interview with the Campbell sisters. Like, why do we need to see this? They choked. We don't care about them. Okay, so let's flick over to 7 Mate. What's on 7 Mate? The Bruce McAvaney pre-interview with Anna Mears. Like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Rio. There's at least 15 or 20 sports going on right now. And for some reason, Channel 7 is like, oh, fuck, Australia sucks today. Let's remind them of our athletes who do shit. Like, why? I mean, what is Channel 7 doing? Like, even showing replays of our gold medals is better than showing stuff that they showed before the Olympics.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm not surprised it's Channel 7. I suppose I'm kind of glad that I'd gone to bed before that point in time. Yeah, I just don't... That doesn't make sense to show an interview with athletes who have already lost after all their events are over. Fair enough if they'd had events left, but they're out of it. They're gone. Move on. Save that interview for Tokyo 2020. If you run out of footage and can't get to them beforehand and have to do your little sneaky, we recorded this before they went in their event for your unexpected gold medalist, when really you recorded it after they won.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's shocking.
Terrible, Channel 7. Shame on you. Give it back to 9 and SBS. All right, so our Canadian athlete of the day, again, Colin's not here, but I found another one for us. Pamela Ware. She is a diver. So, good on you, Pamela. I hope Colin hasn't done this one. I don't think she has. So, all right. Hello, my name is Pamela Ware, and I'm a Canadian. My favourite Olympic moment is watching Dominique Matthias win 3rd in Sochi. Doesn't say what event. Clearly, Dominique Matthias won the entire bronze medal of the entire Sochi Winter Olympics. So, didn't see that event, sadly, Pamela. She's got very neat handwriting, may I just point out. If she could choose any Olympic host city, it would be Montreal, smiley face. I believe the last time they had the Olympics, they bankrupt the entire city, Pamela. I don't think they're going to want to have the Olympics for a long time. In my spare time, I like to go for walks in old Montreal, because that's what they called it before they went bankrupt. So that's why they don't have the Olympics anymore. Draw a picture of yourself. She's drawn a stick figure with a wonky leg. So it kind of looks a bit sick. The weirdest instruction a coach has ever given me was jump lower. Diving, okay. My favourite workout is boxing, because I could clearly see how that would help you dive. If I could have lunch with any person, it would be Channing Tatum. Ooh. She's got the neatest handwriting I've ever seen. My favourite sandwich, she's a simple girl, Pamela. Ham with brie. Just, you know, draw a picture of a Canadian animal. She's drawn looks like a basset hound. I didn't know dogs were Canadian.
There you go. You learn something new every day.
I know. It's up there with the bunnies and what was the other one? The elephant, I think. If I could have any superpower, it would be time travel. What? So you could do this bloody questionnaire again? The best candy in the world is black licorice. As a kid, my favourite sports team was my dad's softball team. I think we had this yesterday with Collins. He said, like, the one we had yesterday, like, my favourite team was my brother's basketball team or something. Like, pick a real team. Like, your dad's softball team doesn't count. My favourite sports movie is Bring It On. Cheerleading's a sport. We're not going to shit all over cheerleading. We appreciate
more so than rhythmic gymnastics, I'd say.
Absolutely. What would the coolest Olympic medal look like? She's drawn looks like a circle with the Olympic rings and a smiley face on it. Yes, okay. If I could live anywhere in the world, it would be Spain. At least it's not France. You'd get booed. When I was little, I always thought the tooth fairy was real! Exclamation mark. At least this joke is like a decent attempt at a joke, and it's not mentioning jalapenos. My favourite joke to tell is knock knock.
Who's there?
Thank you. I don't know.
I don't know who.
I don't. Hang on, I said that wrong. I don't. No, hang on. Let's try that again. I fucked it up. Knock knock.
Who's there?
This is bad when I fuck this up. I don't.
I don't who.
I don't have a joke.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Pamela Ware, the comedian of the Canadian Olympic team. Channing Tatum is lining up at your door, Pamela. written the sentence in cursive, Livia. Well, she's done it. Good on you. Oh, my God. How have they won so many medals? Oh, goodness. All right. Actually, I need to backtrack slightly before we get to the fan messages. Channel 7, shit. I just want to point out, I tweeted last night, actually early hour this morning, when Hungary beat Australia. My tweet, this is exactly what my tweet said, word for word. Australia robbed in another penalty shootout, and by the unfunny Hungarians of all people. ... Hashtag Olympics, hashtag 7 Olympics, hashtag Rio 2016, hashtag water polo. Channel 7 liked my tweet. Like, I've loosely implied that the entire nation of Hungary is unfunny. So either Channel 7 think that Hungary is unfunny, or they're just trolling us. Like, I really think there's appropriate tweets to like, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Hungarian looking for a job, don't knock on Channel 7's door, because evidently you'll be knocked back.
Wow, this is incredible. Yeah, so hello, Channel 7. We are going to now go into our fan ones. Now, yesterday, you weren't here yesterday, Jared, but they hadn't updated the fan messages since you and I read them the other day, so hopefully they've done it today. Let's see. Oh, look, more Campbell love. Get over it, people. Let's read it. Emmanuel from Victoria to Bronte Campbell. Hi, Bronte. Don't worry about your individual races. I think you swam well and put in lots of effort. Well done on your gold medal in the relay. That was great. Enjoy the rest of your time in Rio, and we hope to see you in the Commonwealth Games and the Tokyo Olympics, where I'm sure you'll do great. Clearly the Commonwealth Games because we will win them. Like, she's going to wake up better tomorrow morning knowing that Emmanuel thinks that. Jenna from Victoria to Lindell Oatley. Hello, Lindell. Oh, no, hang on. Let's say that again. Hello, Lindell Oatley. My name is Jenna, and I'm 8 years old, and I have heard very much about you. You are a champion. I have no idea who Lindell Oatley is. Do you?
No. Talk about Jenna keeping her cards close to her chest. What have you heard about it? Let us know. We need some more scandals in the media after the Brazilian divers. So, yeah, send that through to us.
Please do. Ask her for a reply. Maybe she will. Holly from Queensland to Alana Boyd. Alana, you are my hero. I will be watching tonight from Australia, in capital letters. All the best. Hope you beat your record. Smiley face. We are proud. Hug. Adam Bell to Tom Burton, our great sailor, Tom Burton. Good luck for gold tonight from Adam in your sister's class. Tom Burton straight away going, Adam, yes, I know your sister. What else have we got here? Holly Graham from New South Wales. Dear Anna Mears, well done in your brilliant race. I watched you from Sydney, where I live. I'd hope so. I watch you from Sydney, where I'm visiting. Oh, goodness me. Gail and Jeff Brown from Western Australia to Nathan Outeridge. I believe is he a sailor or a rower? Or a canoe? He's something to do with the water. I know that name. Nathan and Ian, some fantastic results so far. Keep on striving. May you have fair winds and great racing ahead. Clearly sailing. Good luck for the rest of the regatta. Go the green and gold! In capital. Another one for the Campbells. Why not? Louise from New South Wales. Hi, Bronte Campbell. Because clearly she doesn't just want to be called Bronte. She wants to be called Bronte Campbell. My name is Louise, and I'm 11 years old. I love watching the Olympics, and especially swimming. Congratulations on winning a gold medal in the freestyle relay with the rest of your team. I wish you the best of luck for your upcoming races or events in the Olympics. From Louise Collins, smiley face. Well, clearly, Louise, you love watching the Olympics because you would know that her events are over.
You mean the swimming doesn't go for the whole 2 weeks?
Looking forward to Bronte Campbell taking part in the Taekwondo later this week. All right, I like the long ones because you never. Oh, actually, hang on. Quickly, just one here from AAB in New South Wales to Chelsea League Becca. I love you. Actually, no, I'm not going to read that one. This one's actually quite funny because this is to Andrew Bogut from Ryan in Victoria. It's almost like he's having a conversation with him. How was your game? I wasn't able to watch your game because I was at school. Soon me and my class are going to send our athlete a letter. I picked you as my athlete. I can't wait to learn more about you. From your admirer, Ryan Gray. P.S. Please reply. Oh my goodness me. I really don't know what else there is. These are actually some good ones today. From Sharon from Victoria to cycling track. This is the track at the Olympics, like the people they write. She loves it. She loves the wooden boards. Well done to you all. Thanks for being there and doing your best for Australia. Congratulations. You are all sporting heroes. Great. Good on you. Oh, no, hang on. I've got Brittany Elmsley, my Snapchat buddy. Tanya from New South Wales. Congrats, Brittany. We are all super proud of you and the girls. Gold for Australia. Enjoy your time in Rio. XXXXXXX. Oh, hang on, here we go. Here's another one. This is another one they want to reply. Jonah Gorman from Tasmania. Go Tassie, people. To Anamirs. How's the Olympic Games? I'm 8 years old and you're my hero. Okay, that's enough. What sport are we going to today?
Well, I think we've got to go with one of the team sports because the way we've been doing, they need some support.
Understatement.
Potentially the basketballers. I think they should get some support and be told not to lose in a penalty shootout.
Don't pull a Matildas. All right, okay. I'm not reading out all the names. Do we just go with a generic Bogut or Dellavedova, or do we choose one of the ones that none of us have ever heard of, like a Mariana Tolo, Damien Martin?
I think it's got to be Dellavedova because the commentators say his name when he doesn't have the ball, just to say his name.
I can't even say his name half the time.
Dellavedova on the bench. Dellavedova doesn't have the ball, but we wanted to say his name. He's up the other end of the field. And Dellavedova not playing in this game, but it's a good last name to say.
Yes. All right. So, shall we just say, just wanted to send you a message and say your name because we like you. Don't pull a Matildas. Hope you don't play Hungary or Brazil. What are we saying to Maddie? Please reply.
I think we've got to let him know how popular his name is, surely.
Just wanted to message you so I could say your name. P.S. Good luck in all your events. In all our events. I can't even spell. In all your events. Especially... Oh, apparently especially automatically corrects to seeped oak. Thank you, iPhone. Especially the modern pentathlon. P.S. Please reply. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, XXXX. I love you. What else are we? I don't even know what the hell we're doing. Done. Send.
I'm writing from Hobart,
where I live. All right. Day 11. I hate this part of the week now, Jared, because every day I say it's kind of like when you're younger and you have a birthday. You're so excited for your birthday every year, but when you reach 20, you don't give a shit anymore. So now it's day 11. It's sad. We're really close to the end, and that's not good. 25 gold medals today. 25, none of which will be won by Australia. So get excited. It's the last day of weightlifting. That's sad. Taekwondo starts in only one more day. That's exciting. And we have got medals in the great sports today of wrestling again, weightlifting obviously, table tennis. We haven't talked too much about the table tennis. Synchro swimming, normal swimming, the marathon, sailing if they can get on the water, the real gymnastics. That's the last day for them before the exhibition gala. Diving, Track cycling, the final day for that. Sprint canoeing, yes, and boxing and athletics. So what are you looking forward to watching today?
Oh, it's got to be the sprint canoeing. I mean, an outside medal chance, maybe even. I don't know if we're good at it or not. I mean, it's in the Olympics, surprisingly. So while it's there, I mean, we've got to compete.
Exactly. Go for it. Go for everything there, people. Only 2 days now away from Modern Pentathlon. Get excited. I know Matthew Dellavedova is. And just quickly, before we wrap it up, thank you again, as always, to our listeners. And remember, Facebook, email, iTunes, all that sort of stuff. Just a special note, we got a comment on one of our pages. We talked a little bit about the great athlete of Dong Dong from China, who won a silver medal earlier this week, I believe, in the gymnastics from memory. And somebody's posted a picture of him winning the medal, and they've put the whole Law and Order SVU in the criminal justice system. Sexually based offences are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories. Dong dong. So I thought that was quite funny. But we got a comment. Can we from now on, whenever we say dong dong, actually play that sound effect? I think I heard it there. Anyway, but one of our listeners, between the two of them, Carly Wood. Hello, Carly. We know you're in New Zealand, but we'll still say hello. She posted a link to our very damn good friend, our great badminton buddy of Mr. Sarasingi, who is getting a bit of notoriety on BuzzFeed. Don't know if you saw this, but he likes to chow down on a whole crap load of McDonald's after his final match on Instagram. He's lifted his shirt up, he's showing his six-pack, which of course you get a six-pack while playing badminton. We all know they're ripped. And he's put here, he bought 6 burgers, 6 large fries, 6 brownies, and 40 chicken McNuggets. 40 chicken McNuggets. I love a good chicken McNugget, Jared. But this is why, like, he's the only Olympian that has tweeted us back, except for that one that tweeted Colin back. But this is awesome. We've got the guy chowing down 40 chicken nuggets has tweeted us back.
That's amazing. I mean, McDonald's, pick up your game. You should be naming some type of meal or burger after someone. An Olympic legend. You've got your whole Olympics theme going. I mean, why doesn't he have his own burger yet? And hopefully, yeah. I mean, that's what we want to see. He can decide what's on it. Probably a bit of everything and 40 chicken nuggets on the burger. Yeah, what an absolute... there's no more Australian thing to do than after you lose in the Olympics, you haven't even won a match. You're a legend, though, even though you haven't won, and then you just go and chow down on some McDonald's. I mean, it doesn't get more Australian than that.
Hashtag Australia. There you go. Thank you, Salan Sarasingi, that you will be remembered for more than your great badminton skills and your rockin' abs. Like, seriously, man. Jesus. I'm playing badminton if that's what you look like. Alright, enough of that. Thank you, Jared, for your company again today. Always fun.
No problem. It's been good. If there's any athletes out there who are medal prospects, feel free to defect to Australia. We'll take anybody at this point in time.
And to all our French listeners, sorry that you get booed so much. Actually, the real reason too, I should say, that Colin's not actually here. We didn't really mention too much about Colin. But yeah, he's a bit annoyed, sadly, that I also had a marathon sex session with another athlete. So, sorry, Colin. But yeah, good night from Off the Podium, and we will be back for day 11 tomorrow. Au revoir, and boo your French.